Today on OC News.
Cal State Fullerton is in mourning after the loss of soccer player Lauren Turner, who was injured in an accident in late September.
The record-breaking government shutdown may be nearing its end.
And a new Barnes & Noble has opened up in Brea.
OC News starts now.
Now in tech news, the first responder on the
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
I feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to OC News. My name is Jade Gavan.
My name is Emiliano Carbal. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've been reporting on the scooter accident that critically injured two CSUF women's soccer players for the past several weeks. Lauren Turner and Ashlyn Gwynn were critically injured after being hit by a box truck while riding their scooters on campus on September 27th. Last Friday, November 7th, Turner passed away from her injuries. Turner's father wrote on her GoFundMe page, "Our sweet Lauren fell asleep in the Lord. All hearts are broken and our family is forever changed." Her family also said that Lauren approached everything she did with heart and joy, and had a gift for making people laugh and feel at ease. The sophomore defensive midfielder from Tustin was just 19 years old. Ashley Gwynn has a long road to recovery. She has been moved out of the ICU, is conscious, and has regained some motor functions. Her family plans to eventually transfer her to a rehabilitation program in Houston for her continued inpatient care. Her survival is considered miraculous. This evening, a vigil will be held at Titan Stadium in honor of Lauren Turner at 5:30. Reporter Jenny Guzman joins us live at Titan Stadium, where the vigil will be starting shortly.
Hey guys, we're here at Titan Stadium Field, where the vigil is now taking place. We just heard from Directors of Athletics Jim Donovan, and we have 5 other speakers remaining. What we see behind me is a crowd of onlookers and supporters that came out in memory of Lauren Turner. We brought flowers, candles, and prayers.
The community is facing the loss of 19-year-old Lauren Turner, a sophomore on Fullerton's women's soccer team. Her life was cut short after facing a tragic accident in September, which left her and a fellow teammate, Ashley Gwynn, critically injured. The accident occurred late at night while the girls rode their electric scooters off Yorba Linda Boulevard and Associated Road when they were struck by a box truck. Now, after spending nearly 2 months in the ICU battling severe head trauma, Turner's family shared through the established GoFundMe page that she passed away on Friday morning. The Orange County native from Tustin survives through her 2 sisters and her 2 parents.
We see hundreds of the Fullerton community coming out in honor of Lauren Torres after she succumbed to her injuries of head trauma. What we see today is candles and flowers and supporters of Lauren Turner and the Fullerton community coming together to listen to the words of Athletics Director Jim Donovan and our head coach, Jamie Brown.
From everybody at OC News, we extend our deepest condolences to the Turner family.
And wishing Ashlyn a full and speedy recovery.
The longest shutdown in American history is now one step closer to ending. After the Senate agreed to sign on a funding package. 1 independent and 7 Democratic senators have agreed to terms with Republicans on a new spending bill. The bill does not meet all of the Democrats' demandings for extending health subsidies, but it does extend food and aid pay for federal workers. So far, the shutdown has left some federal employees unpaid, and flight cuts have increased to 6%. The House Rules Committee will review the bill, and then it's up to the House to end the shutdown or continue negotiations.
Freedoms have been at risk in academia under the Trump administration. Litzy Aguilar shows us how this is impacting the CSU system.
Freedom of speech and other academic freedoms are being threatened in the entire CSU system.
They were not notified that this was happening. They were not, the union was not consulted about the rights, protecting the privacy and rights of our members. And the chancellor's office just handed the information over.
At the Academic Senate meeting held on October 9, California Faculty Association President Dr. Christina Seisel accused CSU of disclosing employee contact information to federal investigators as part of an anti-Semitism probe led by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
I think we need to be having discussions proactively around the value of our work and how to protect it and how to ensure that we maintain free speech.
The CFA filed a lawsuit days later, alleging the university system violated faculty privacy and academic freedom.
I'm hoping that we get a policy that protects our private information and that, really respects our rights as employees and as public educators.
CSU Chancellor Mildred Garcia released a statement saying, quote, "The CSU is and has always been committed to operating within all applicable state and federal law," end quote, and quote, "to maintaining a welcoming, non-discriminatory environment for all students, faculty, and staff," end quote. The CFA has contacted its members to not respond to anything from EEOC and to contact their union instead. The CFA lawsuit is now moving forward in Los Angeles County Court.
We need to maintain that that ability to speak to the fullness of our social experience.
The CFA continues to address threats to faculty privacy and freedom and plans to bring its demands directly to the CSU Board of Trustees at their next meeting on November 18th. Reporting for OC News, I'm Litzy Aguilar.
Coming up next, Tyler has the weather and news about typhoon hitting the Philippines.
And Litzy will take over sports to update you on scores and recent retirement.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
I have a question about
As a result of recent events, students have growing concerns regarding scooter safety around campus. Dane May has the story.
In light of the recent tragedy that occurred here on campus, students are calling for change in safety procedure and protocol. Not only for us as students, but also for those that may be driving on or around campus.
On one hand, I'm like, well, people need the scooters and we should have like the freedom of transportation. But on the other, I do understand that sometimes, like, I've almost been hit by scooters here on campus, happens all the time. So I'm not sure what like safety you would have to enact, but maybe there need to be something.
E-scooters and e-bikes have become very popular among the youth in Southern California. Since their introduction, injuries and accidents continue to be on the rise.
Definitely have more people around the area, just, making sure a lot of people are not going super fast. Probably having like some areas like slow zones
Legally, only riders under the age of 18 must wear helmets, but students and athletes are being heavily encouraged to wear them on campus. Although e-scooters are a fast and easy option to get your way around campus, it may be time for change. In Fullerton, Dane May, OC News.
While SoCal is enjoying the mild fall weather, other parts of the world are seeing extreme conditions. Taylor Davis joins us with the latest forecast and more.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Let's take a look at the current temperature and what's ahead. Right now, it's sitting at about 72 degrees and partly cloudy. A nice, mild afternoon for walking across the campus. The clouds are hiding the sun and there's a light breeze, making it perfect hoodie weather. Looking ahead, we'll see what the rest of the week holds. For Thursday, it looks like it'll be about 73 degrees. And for Friday, it looks like it'll be about 64, and on Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. Saturday through Monday, the rain looks like it'll be sticking around through the weekend, with temperatures dropping into the mid-60s and even the mid-50s overnight. Turning now to global weather, the Philippines is facing a powerful storm. Across the Philippines, neighborhoods are underwater after Super Typhoon Fangwon tore through the region. Streets have become rivers, home and buildings sit damaged and silent, and more than 1 million people were forced to evacuate. Powerful winds and relentless rain have been left behind, widespread flooding and destruction, with many communities struggling to recover. So overall, a wet week ahead for us in Fullerton, but a reminder that weather could look very different across the globe. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Taylor. Speaking of weather, the East Coast is seeing a light show in the sky. In Wilmington, North Carolina, northern lights were spotted in the early morning hours. The event may continue through the evening as a geomagnetic storm is projected to continue. This is a rare event for North Carolina because of its auroral oval where northern lights usually occur.
Let's take a short drive down to Brea. Check out the brand new Barnes & Noble with Dane May.
Barnes & Noble is a popular bookstore that first opened in New York City in the 1880s. Now there are over 600 stores in the U.S. with 60 new locations coming. Among those 60 locations was this one right here in Brea, only a couple minutes on the road from Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, we opened last Wednesday and we had a line of 400 and some people at the door waiting to come in, and it was like the most amazing experience. I wasn't expecting like that turnout, so it was really awesome.
Brea's Barnes & Noble only opened a week ago and already has OC book lovers ranting and raving. It's a prime location to come grab a good read and have a good bite to eat as well.
I will stay here to study, like for school. I see the chairs and everything, so yeah, like very comfortable for like the student life. And yeah, it's like pretty convenient. Like the mall is down the street too, so I could stop here and then go to the mall.
Although there isn't a Starbucks inside this location, there's one right next door. This location will also include toys, games, and also a collection of vinyls for sale, along with all their good reads. Although different, it looks to be a nice addition to the area. In Fullerton, Dane May, OC News.
Jade, don't you just love reading?
Please, as long as they're picture books. From Gronk's Day 1 Patriots farewell to the Steelers in LA and CSUF women's basketball recap, Litzy Aguilar has the latest on sports. Take it away.
Thank you, Jade. Rob Gronkowski is officially retiring as a New England Patriot, signing a one-day contract to end his career where it all began. The four-time Super Bowl champion announced he will ink the ceremonial deal in Foxborough, honoring a promise made to his late friend. Gronkowski spent 9 seasons in New England, redefining the tight position end with over 9,000 yards and 92 touchdowns before adding another ring with Tampa Bay. The Patriots will host the retirement ceremony at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on team digital platforms, a fitting chapter for one of the game's most dominant and beloved players. The Chargers dominated on Sunday night, rolling to a 25-10 victory over the Steelers in Week 10 primetime. Los Angeles improved to a 7-3 behind a suffocating defense that held Pittsburgh to just 221 yards total and 2 of 11 on third down conversions. Khalil Mack opened the scoring with a safety, setting the tone for the night. Offensively, Justin Herbert passed for 220 yards and a touchdown, while rookie Ladd McConkey recorded 107 receiving yards with a score. For Pittsburgh, veteran Aaron Rodgers struggled throwing 2 interceptions and managing only 161 in a performance the club will quickly forget. The win also featured a milestone for veteran wideout Keenan Allen, who became the Chargers' all-time leader in receptions. Hitting close to home for us Titans, our women's basketball team showed grit on November 9th against Cleveland State. Fullerton stayed in the game most of the way, but a late 10-0 run by the Vikings gave them a 68-61 win. The Titans forced 32 turnovers and scored 26 points off mistakes, but struggled from the line and on the boards. Standout Nicole Steiner led the team with 18 points, including 6 free throws in 32 minutes of hard-fought play, showing that Titan energy never quits. Make sure to grab your tickets to watch our ladies play tonight at 7 p.m. against Hope International University. That's all from the world of sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after a short commercial break, Thanksgiving is approaching, and families are looking for a savvy way to feed their families.
And Sue Frayer has an update on the glitz and glam of the entertainment world. Stay tuned.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
Now in entertainment, we will catch a sneak peek at Pixar's next big film to a farewell to Hollywood legend. Also, Rose is taking a chance to step back into the spotlight. Sue Frayer has more.
Thanks, Jade. Almost 3 decades have passed since Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the toy gang made their debut on the big screen. Now Pixar has decided to bring back these friendly characters for the latest installment of the franchise, Toy Story 5. The Toy Story 5 trailer has just dropped and fans are already buzzing. The film marks the 5th installment in the iconic franchise that began back in 1995. The new trailer features beloved characters, Woody and Buzz, reuniting to embark on another adventure. New characters, emotional moments, and lessons to learn will have fans reeling in their seats. Pixar has not revealed much of the plot yet, but the trailer hints at themes of change and technological advancements. Toy Story 5 is set to hit theaters in June 2026. From the latest Hollywood buzz to a somber farewell, the life and work of Sally Kirkland is being celebrated and mourned. Sally Kirkland has passed away at the age of 84. Her work has left a lasting impact in film history. Kirkland died in her Palm Springs home while on hospice for dementia and other health complications. Her career spanned 6 decades, with her most notable work in the 1987 film Anna, which earned her a Golden Globe and an Academy Award nomination. Kirkland began as a model in New York, acted off-Broadway for a few years, and was part of the 1960s artistic scene. Her passing leaves behind a legacy of experimental beginnings to mainstream film and television roles. Friends, family, and fans say she will be missed. After remembering the life of Hollywood actress Sally Kirkland, we turn to a new name back in the spotlight. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, is coming to Netflix with the festive lifestyle series. Markle's production company, Archwell Productions, just released the trailer for her latest Netflix project. The Netflix original With Love Meghan follows Markle around her home where she shares her passion for cooking and family traditions. The series blends her California lifestyle with a touch of royal polish. The first season premiered on Netflix in March, and a holiday special is set to hit Netflix in early December. The series sets the stone from Markle's life of royalty to the next up-and-coming in the entertainment industry. From Pixar to the Palace, Hollywood's always full of stories. Back to you guys at the desk.
As shoppers prepare for holiday meals, many are turning to Aldi, where low prices are making a big difference this season. Here's Taylor Davis with the story.
As the holidays approach, many families are feeling the pressure of rising grocery costs, but for shoppers at Aldi, it has become a little easier thanks to the store reputation for affordable prices.
It's cheaper and you can save more money. Like this kombucha is $2.75 here, and at Stater Brothers it is $4. So you're saving $1.25 per bottle.
By keeping things simple, from smaller store layout to in-house brands, Aldi passes saving directly to customers, and their lower prices help large families save.
Yes, I feel they do help me save money because I have a big family that I have to cook for, so shopping with them is always a breeze.
With prices climbing almost everywhere, shoppers say Aldi's low-price groceries makes a big difference.
The prices are it's just more convenient, I think for the everyday person, and I noticed like certain things like you can get like the candles, like I got the turkey last week. Things that the kids like, the crackers, the little fruit snacks and stuff like that, it's a huge difference.
Even as inflation continues to affect prices, Aldi's focus on affordability, keeping loyal customers coming back.
Aldi is the place to go, and I just really started shopping like there recently in the last couple of months.
Whether you're getting your weekly groceries or Thanksgiving shopping, Aldi's makes savings a little easier. Reporting with OC News, Taylor Davis.
The government shutdown has affected many people on SNAP benefits, but Good Samaritans are helping their neighborhoods. One of the many food pantries appeared in a neighborhood-free library. 8-year-old Ali Grant turned his library into a food pantry for struggling neighbors. The next day, everything was gone. He refills the pantry every day with the support of its elementary school food drive. Ali has received overwhelming support from his community members as he shows a good heart and can persevere through tough times. Emiliano, what type of stuff were you doing at the age of 8?
I could barely read at the age of 8. Thank you for joining us on OC News this week. My name is Emiliano Carbajal.
And my name is Jade Gavan. Make sure to follow us on socials at Titan TV, CSUF, and OC News, CSUF. Thank you for watching.